So, new Helldiver Warbond dropped recently, and I think I can go through some of the deployable stratagems that they add, the support stratagems. And we're going to start off quickly with the hammer. So the breaching hammer, as you can see, has 1 of 1 charge on it. The charge is that little yellow thing on the end of the hammer, and it can be used to clear out areas. So if I hit this windmill right here, remove it, as well as just remove it without it. However, it should be noted that this thing deals AoE damage. So if I swing it around right here, it'll clear that out. Or I can test on some of these robots over here. So if I walk up to one of these little robots, and I don't even have to hit them, I just hit right near them, and they will kill it. So if I walk up here, it'll kill both of those. So it has a fairly big AoE radius. As you can see, it took out 3 with that singular blast. And it does deal a high amount of damage. It can one-shot Devastators as well as Hulks. If you hit them correctly, you can one-tap Hulks. But we're not really worried about that. Let's get to the other stuff. So next is the Ultimatum. The Ultimatum's cousin, the Leveler. Now the Leveler is basically a 1-to-1 with the Ultimatum, except you have more range, and you don't have any iron sights. This is all you have to aim. Of course, you can see it has a normal rocket launcher delay, but it has a pretty high drop. A lot less compared to the Ultimatum, but still a high drop. However, it basically has the same blast radius as a 500 kilogram. So, anything within the area would have been completely gone. It should be mentioned also that it can take out robot gunships and robot dropships. Now, next up is the built-fed grenade launcher. Now, I thought I should mention this one, especially because of its features. For start, we have different RPM levels, starting at 160, 240, and then 320, and back to 160. And if I fire 7 rounds out of it like this, you see it actually has a better drop radius than the other grenade launcher, it seems, so it's farther ranged. 7 more. And 7 more. Now, it should be mentioned that this thing actually picks up 75, or not 75, it picks up 25 rounds out of each small ammo pack that is on the ground. So if I were to walk up to one right now and pick one up, it will replenish it, 25, bringing it back to 100. Now, I should have showed this a little earlier, but here are the grenades. I don't see these talked about as much, but they actually are pretty good. You have 4 of them, and they deploy and last a few seconds and allow you to take incoming fire. So such as these guys. So you can quickly pop one down. However, it should be mentioned that these things only show up as dangers, so because their icon isn't special, I find my teammates will just avoid them because they see the little red mark when I mark them and go, oh crap, that's a mine. However, a fresh one can actually take good amount of damage. That was 1200 damage right there, and if I throw down another one, mind you, these weapons do a huge amount of damage, and it just tanked those. So, they have a good amount of damage taken to them, however, the small amount of, the small time it has, as well as the fact that you only have 4, seems to really throw it off. It doesn't really bounce it out well. Now, here's the tank. This was recently added, however, you do not need the Warbond, you actually just need 35,000 requisition slips, and you have 4 seats, one here, and one here, as well as the turret right here. Now we'll start off with the driving. It comes with a very, very big car, and it drives fairly easily, a lot easier to control than the little recon vehicle. However, it should be mentioned that when I drive over here, that it doesn't do as good as the little rocks as the recon vehicle does, so if you're driving between big rocks, sometimes you can get stuck. However, it does seem to be a lot harder to get stuck. But for some reason, I don't know why, you can't destroy buildings. If I ram into this building again, I can't destroy buildings. So you will get hard stuck by buildings. But you can go through all this stuff like it's nothing, but just not buildings for some reason. Now these are the 2 seeds, so these are little pop patches, so you can quickly pop up, shoot a few rounds, maybe you want to reload in here, pop up, shoot a few, and if you press C, you switch to the next one, which is basically the same thing, pop up, shoot a few shots, and then you press it again, you come out to the actual cannon, and it comes with a heavy machine gun of 2,000 rounds, and it comes with a 120mm cannon. However, it should be mentioned you have a great amount of elevation, which is absolutely perfect for taking down dropships, as well as a machine gun to take down warp ships, but you only have 45 degrees to shoot. The heavy machine gun, I believe it's closer to somewhere around 60 degrees, but you're splitting hairs here. You have to be in front of your target. And you have to manually reload. See, if I click, nothing will happen. But I have to press R to reload it manually. I also find that actually I'll run out of heavy machine gun ammo before I run out of cannon rounds, because I'm using the heavy machine gun to pepper up the larger enemies, and I'm using this one to take out larger enemies. However, it does have a good amount of HE to it, so you do get a good area of effect. However, my biggest problem with the tank currently is for some reason enemies seem to singularly target it. They treat it as almost if it's a player, so even if I'm out of the tank, enemies will come towards it and start attacking it. That's a problem because the moment you spawn one in, you'll just immediately be swarmed, and then your tank will just immediately explode, which kinda nullifies the whole point of even having the tank if they immediately target you and destroy the tank. One last thing that should be mentioned actually about the driving and the health of it is the health seems fairly low compared to what I was expecting. And turning for some reason, so if I press my A key, the turning is extremely delayed and it only uses one track for some reason. So it turns extremely slow. And if I'm turning and I press another key, let's say I want to back up, and immediately stops it. Go forward, and this thing seems to really take a lot of damage really quickly.
Nothing in the chamber.
So I found that you have to have people on the sides consistently keeping track of it, because if you don't have anybody in the top here or any on the side here, this thing will just be instantly killed basically. So that was. So this has been basically 18 shots out of this and 10 rounds out of that last rifle. And you can see it's already smoking. In my opinion, if it's designed to fight against robots, it should have higher armor and maybe go slower, as it does have a top speed of 35 kilometers per hour. But honestly, it was kind of disappointing seeing how every time I took this into battle, if I only had 2 people in it, basically it would just instantly explode. I'd have to have 2 people on the top to be distractions, just to make sure that I could get this thing basically. Now I want to mention this, when it explodes, if you're anywhere near it, you'll just instantly like that. You have to be like 10 feet away. Hopefully but you have to be 10 feet away, and
Democracy has
if you're not 10 feet away, you'll just insta die. So that's all of this for this. I'm gonna actually get it apart with me shooting them in battle. So here I think is actually a good demonstration to use this thing. So if I completely took out one of them over there, but as you can see, it does have quite a big blast radius. However, the drop kind of turns you off. Because that drop kind of fucked it all over. And as you can see right here, this guy's already targeting the tank. There's nothing even in the tank, they're just going straight for the tank. However, the range on this thing is absolutely great. And once again, you can see we haven't even done anything. And the tank has already blown up. We haven't even done it. So the tank is pretty weak to non-Helldiver fire, it seems, which is completely stupid in my opinion. However, this grenade launcher does seem to be pretty good, as if you don't miss too often, it can basically stun the enemies. But you have to be constantly near a supply pack. If you're not near a supply pack, you will basically just consistently run out of ammo. I'm gonna try one of these out. As you can see, it's actually taking quite a good amount of fire. Once again. So it is protecting me actually quite well. I dare say it's protecting me actually better than the big shield generator. Because that shitty ass big shield generator just seems to basically do the absolute bare minimum. However, I will show off that you actually can't really use it for much besides that. So you lose the entire ability to be able to engage anything else that would require immediate fire. But as you can see, the leveler is quite good. I took out 6 with a singular shot, and I wasn't even aiming for him. So it's pretty good, I feel. However, I feel like the drop could maybe be reduced, or reduced a little bit, just to make it a little more viable long range. Besides that, I think it's almost perfect. Once again, you can see I picked up 25, and if I pick up another one, 25 more.
Supplies. Thank you.
Thank you. But we can use it against these guys. And I immediately took out that hull. It has heavy armor piercing on it. So, as you can see, you actually can take out hulks relatively quickly.
Requesting sentry.
Here.
Throwing supply beacon.
But look. It absolutely shreds through the box.
Say hello to
Just mind me. As you can see, people kind of seem to avoid these. That's the first guy I think I've seen of the last 3 matches I've done with these actually use them when I've thrown down. So as you can see, once again, shield's actually pretty good. And this is pretty good because it has heavy AP on it. It allows you to take out anything below the sun. Even take out, not drop ships, but it allows you to take out the big striders relatively quickly too. As long as you hit the head a lot, you can take them out in a minute or 2. Here I think is a good demonstration. As you can see, I just took out 20 of them, and before I could start the recording, all its friends jumped over, so we took them all out. There's a huge amount of splash damage, and overall, it's easy to use. So, I can't iterate that enough. It's easy to use, and it has a relatively short respawn time. So that's a minute and 30 it's up for me to respawn. So that's incredibly small amount of time. So it actually does do a good area. I thought that'd be a good representation. So let's get where the hammer shines is taking out these guys. 1 and 2. He's gone. Out of the game. Like when you got single ones, you don't even you don't even have to use the charges. You just swing at them. So here feels like a good place to demonstrate the usefulness of it. So I can just, and I take out 2. Shit. I didn't even need to hit him directly, but. And it stuns the ones around it too, so you saw it stun that guy. And you can actually use it to take out Hulks. So with one hit, it takes out Hulks. So the damage on it's pretty good, and you can use it to take out these too. So overall, I think it's pretty fun to use. Is it useful? Questionable. Don't worry, I've got this. It's so bad, I love it. It's fun to use. Is it useful? Once again, fuck no. But like, come on, fight me like a man.
Thank you.
So just drop to the deck, we're destroying everything. You can see it's pretty good when it comes to taking out them if you have people to support you. So we have this guy, who's one on my right. Helping me out. But he just absolutely mows you down as long as you have support. That's a big thing, because it needs support. And you need someone to drive it. There's nobody to drive it. You just can't do it like that. So you do have all that stuff. In order for it to work. As you can see, it is pretty powerful. And it is pretty weak too, compared to armor-wise, because we're already smoking. It's very anything. So if you pick out the manufacturing facilities in a single shot, alongside with their heavy machine gun, able to mow down just about anything from a big 120mm canopy. You got E2 helping me in that still. Yeah, you see it is pretty good overall. And it can also just one-shot other planes like that. They're also jumping to it. I don't think it's the one problem with it. I think is just the lack of armor and speed. Everything else besides that is almost completely fine. I think the balancing to the animation is good, and the explosion is the best. Yeah. The biggest thing is that I just armor I feel awesome on it overall. But besides that, I think it's actually pretty good. So yeah. As basically my note is that it's overall just good, besides the armor and the turning speed.
Proceed to extraction when ready.
Calling in reinforcements.